These stopped grooves make great handles on the ends of cutting boards that are at least 1 inch thick, and you can make them any length you want at the router table with just one bit. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to use Rockler's handle groove router bit for this technique. It's 1 5/8 inch in diameter with a 3/4 inch cutting height. The top and bottom corners are rounded to 1/4 inch radii to create grooves that are comfortable and easy to grasp. The bit includes 3 different interchangeable pilot bearings, so you can choose the handle groove depth you like best. With this 1 1/8 inch diameter bearing installed, the bit cuts 1/4 inch deep handles. This 7/8 inch diameter bearing cuts 3/8 inch deep handles, and this 5/8 inch diameter bearing cuts 1/2 inch deep handles. I'm going to route 3/8 inch deep handle grooves on this cutting board. So I'm going to install the middle-sized 7/8 inch diameter pilot bearing on the bit. I'm going to center my handle grooves on the thickness of this cutting board, which is 1 3/8 inches thick. So to center the bit correctly, I need to do a little math. The cutting board is 1 3/8 thick, and the bit cuts a 3/4 inch wide handle groove. So if I subtract 3/4 inch from 1 3/8, I'm left with 5/8. And if I divide that in half, that's the space above and below the handle groove when it's centered, or 5/16. And since 5/16 is a common dimension, I can use a 5/16 inch thick brass setup bar to dial in my bit height. Here, I'm lowering the bit in my router table until the bottom of the cutters just barely touch the setup bar. Now I need to adjust the router table fence so I can start and stop the groove cuts to make the handles the length I want them to be. And those handles are going to be 6 inches long. Here, I'm marking their locations on the top face of the cutting board. I've also adjusted and locked the fence so the front rim of the pilot bearing is flush with the fence faces. I'm going to use these 2 adjustable stops to control the limits of the routing process so I don't have to do that by eye. But I need to figure out exactly where to lock these down. So here's how I do that. I start by sliding the fence faces in so they just barely touch the bit edges and locking them in place. This way the edges of the fence facings become indicators for the cutting limits of the bit. And now I'll lower the router bit below the table to get the cutters temporarily out of the way. And now we've got all the layout marks we need to locate these stops. What's important to remember here is that the left stop will control the cutting limits of the right end of the handle groove, and my layout line for that is right here. And the right stop will control the cutting limits for the left end of the handle groove, and that layout line is right here. So to set my left stop, I slide the cutting board over until the right handle groove layout line aligns with the inside edge of the right fence facing. Then I can slide my left stop over until it touches the cutting board and lock it down. Now to set my right stop, I slide the cutting board back over until the left handle groove layout line aligns with the inside edge of the left fence facing, and I can slide the right stop over until it touches the cutting board and lock it down. Now I've set the cutting limits for this 6 inch handle groove cut. We're almost ready to cut the handle grooves, but there's still a couple more adjustments to make. I need to open the fence facings again so they're about 1/8 inch away from the edges of the bit. Then I need to raise the bit to the correct cutting height again using my 5/16 inch brass setup bar. And I'm also going to loosen just the right fence knob a bit so I can pivot this right in-feed end of the fence forward. I only want about 1/8 inch of the cutters to be exposed for the first pass. A 3/8 inch deep cut is way too much material to remove in a single pass, so that's why I've set this fence up for such a shallow first cut. You should only take off about 1/8 inch of material with each pass. It's the safer approach, and it's also easier on the router motor and the bit. So with that said, we're ready to take the first routing pass. And here's how I do it. With the right edge of the cutting board touching the right fence stop and the board clear of the bit, I slowly pivot the left front corner of the board into the bit. Once it makes contact with the fence, I slide the board from right to left until the left edge touches the left fence stop. Then I can pivot the right front corner off the fence and pull the board away to complete the cut. That's it for the first pass for these handle grooves on both ends of the cutting board. Now for my second pass, I'm going to loosen the right end of the fence again and expose about 1/4 inch of the cutters this time and lock down the fence. The routing process for pass number 2 is the same as the first pass. Start on the right and end on the left, using the fence stops to limit the cut. That's it for the second pass. Now for the third pass, I'm going to set the fence so the rim of the pilot bearing is only about 1/32 of an inch shy of the fence facings, and I'm removing nearly all the waste. And for the fourth and final pass, I reset the fence so the bearing is now flush with the fence facings so I can shave away the last of the waste in the handle grooves. Well, that's it for the routing process on these grooves. But this stop-centered approach is only one option. If you set the bit low, you can make handle grooves that open to the cutting board's bottom face. Or cut passes into both faces, so the handle actually becomes a ridge in the middle instead of a groove. Another option is to run a centered groove all the way along the end for a different look. This versatile handle groove router bit can let you customize your cutting boards in all sorts of unique ways. See it at your local Rockler store or learn more at rockler.com. I'm Chris Marshall with Rockler, and thanks for watching.